This is regarding the accident that took place yesterday at the intersection of Tom and Lincoln Avenue. Yesterday, just before 7 p.m., uniformed officers pulled over a vehicle which was operated by an Eric Dempsey. The vehicle was pulled over at the intersection of Shonner and Southwest Street for traffic infractions. The vehicle in question was a 2002 Ford Explorer. As the officers approached the vehicle, the driver, Dempsey, sped away from them, proceeding west onto West Onondaga Street, then turning onto Midland Avenue. The officers at the time was outside of their vehicle, so they had to rush back to their vehicle and then proceed after Dempsey. The officers engaging their lights and sirens in an effort to get Dempsey, not just to get Dempsey to stop, but Dempsey took off at a very high rate of speed, and any unsuspecting citizens wouldn't know that he was coming at such a high rate of speed. Children playing in the area, so the officers then proceeded after Dempsey with lights and sirens, both in an effort to alert the public of the fact that Dempsey was driving in such an erratic way, and also in an effort to stop Dempsey from driving through our city in such a fashion. Dempsey quickly turned on to West Onondaga Street and then onto Midland Avenue. The officers were attempting to close the distance on him. He turned onto Lincoln Avenue. He navigated the full block of the 100 block of Lincoln Avenue until he reached the intersection of Thomas Street. And once he reached the intersection of Thomas Street, he impacted a vehicle that was passing through the intersection. The Lincoln Avenue, the block that Dempsey was traveling along, has a stop sign. Thomas Street does not have a stop sign. Dempsey drove through the stop sign without stopping and just disregarding the traffic device and impacted a vehicle that was traveling through the intersection. The occupants of the vehicle was a 49-year-old male and a 24-year-old male. I'm not going to give you their names right now because both. I'm not going to give you the names of the occupants of the other vehicle right now. Dempsey impacted the vehicle at the intersection of Lincoln and Tom. Our officers were seconds away from the scene, and once the officers arrived at the scene, they called for help for the passengers of the vehicle that was traveling through the intersection, and also for Dempsey. Our fire department and AMR arrived at the scene and provided first aid. Although the 49-year-old passenger of the vehicle died at the scene, he was transported to the hospital because they had loaded him in the ambulance. Later on that evening, the 24-year-old passed away while at the hospital. Our fire department and our EMS workers did an outstanding job at the scene and extricating both victims from the vehicle, and also with assisting us at the scene. Dempsey was transported to the hospital for minor injuries, and once he was treated at the hospital for his injuries, he was then lodged in the Justice Center for his actions on that night. He was charged with manslaughter in the second degree, 2 counts, vehicular manslaughter in the second degree, 2 counts, unlawful fleeing a police officer in the first degree, DWI, and numerous vehicle and traffic infractions.